All right, fellas, it is Eric Bugenhagen, a.k.a. Rick the Stick.
It's Rick the Stick. Gold into this list of shared. Heavy loads to the world scares. It's Rick the Stick. Rick the Stick.
Now known as Dr. Density reporting in here. And this freaking morning has been a process, fellas. It's been a process because when I do this, I want to bring some major freaking gusto. I want to make sure that I'm in a proper headspace where I can freaking verbally assault you with tidbits. You know what I'm saying? Things that I can reach down deep in my soul and give you a freaking who, what, where, and why. People can feed off of energy. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to freaking be lethargic and lackadaisical when I make these videos because I want you to feel the energy, see the energy, have the magnetic freaking energy, okay? For example, if I was to sit and do a podcast with a microphone and all that, it's not going to flow the same. There ain't going to be a magnetic freaking energy because you guys, even if you close your eyes, okay, and you listen to me, you can tell that I'm moving and I'm grooving. You know, back when I used to do freaking sales phone calls, worst job in the world, cold calls on the freaking telephone 10 years ago, okay? One of the hot, quick, golden tidbits that the freaking management or whatever gave you is, hey, when you do these calls, be on your freaking feet and be standing because they can't see you, but they can freaking feel that energy. So, you know, you got the freaking headset on. And it's like, let me tell you something real fast. This is what you need, and this is why you freaking need this. And they're like, holy buckets, I can feel this guy's magnetic, radiant energy. I'm freaking sold. You know what I'm saying? When you're sitting down, lackadaisical and lethargic, it doesn't flow the same, okay? So, my whole point, long story short, this is a freaking visual podcast. And I turned the TV on to see what videos were recommended to me. This video is recommended to me here. This mistake can cost you 40% of your gains. Holy buckets. And I see that title, and instantly, first thing that comes to my mind is paralysis by analysis. Holy buckets, I'm frozen in fear because with the wrong exercise selection, I could be freaking 40 pounds or 40% less gains. And instantly what crosses my mind is that's a load of horse shit, okay? What is even 40%? Clearly this is based off of some study or something where, you know, test subject, PencilNeck test subjects, you know, one group versus another, you know, where you had some Johnny Horsecocks versus some Johnny PencilNecks, but you know what I mean? And this was the conclusion they came to. And what crosses my mind first and foremost, you know, exercise selection, 40% better gains is just like, it doesn't matter what you freaking do. It's the intent that you do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, in a previous video, I said you could give me nothing but a toothbrush and activate my glutes. I'll freaking activate those suckers with nothing but a toothbrush. A crude analogy, but it still proves the bigger picture. It's that as long as you have the freaking gusto and the intent and the intensity and the will and the desire to progress with something, I don't think it makes too big of a difference of what particular one exercise versus another. You know, this whole 40%, I remember this is very reminiscent of 40%. Back in the supplements, like 10 years ago or something, maybe 10, 15 years ago, there was a supplement, D-aspartic acid. And it's like D-aspartic acid boosts testosterone levels 40%. Like 40%, that sounds huge. And then everyone's come to the conclusion now that they don't really put it in any supplements anymore because it's like the 40%, like it doesn't even do anything. You know what I'm saying? Like you might have a 40% difference, but at the end of the day, it's freaking jack diddly, okay? So you have one, you know, exercise versus another exercise, 40% better here versus here. It's freaking jack diddly, guys, okay? I can guarantee you right now, you give me the inferior exercise where it's 40% less gains, I promise you, and I don't know if we can put this to the test somehow. I can promise you I'll take that inferior exercise and make 40% more gains than Johnny PencilNeck. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because it's intent. It's freaking intent. Let's watch this, shall we? Menno Henselman.
We're committed to keeping our quality high.
I am feeling fired up. Okay, I had
What is really fast?
you guys are gonna say, holy buck, it's Ricky's out of breath just talking. It ain't Ricky out of breath just talking. It's the Ricky's Rotund Raspberry that's sucking the breath out of me. Holy buckets. And because like I was saying, nothing with intent. I didn't start this video. I sucked down 8 scoops of Joe. You know what I'm saying? Let me show you guys real fast. Stay right there. Whey! Holy buckets. Okay, as you guys know, I go on these freaking kicks. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, listen, premium high quality cup of Joe, right? And then I'll go in the total opposite direction. I'll say, give me the most chemically infested, anti-fungus, anti-pesticides, whatever, not anti, pro-fungus, pro-pesticides, like, and that's kind of the kick we're on right now. This is a Nescafe Classico 100-cup container. And I bought this, 10 days ago, guys. You know what I'm saying? 100 cups 10 days ago. So, whew. You know what I'm saying? We're freaking averaging, this is about nine scoops a day. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a testament right here. I sucked down about 8 scoops of the Nescafe Classico. And I just wasn't feeling it. The mind wasn't clicking, ticking. I wasn't feeling fired up. The wind wasn't getting sucked out of my soul. And that's where I said, you know what? Let's just suck down a little Ricky's Rotund. And sure enough, we're freaking fired up.
How's your focus?
Oh, God! Laser focus!
How's your pump?
Oh, skin splitting. Oh, God!
How's your energy?
The wind is really getting sucked out of me. But it makes for much more magnetic energy and passion when I'm talking about, Professor PencilNeck's recent analytical data. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know much about Menno Henselman, but let's find out.
Way to select your exercises for maximum muscle hypertrophy. Many people select their exercises largely based on how they feel. They try an exercise, see if they feel the target musculature well, maybe try to tweak the exercise a bit to see if they feel it better, and if they don't feel the exercise in the muscle that they're trying to train, they select a different exercise. Research has found that doing this may be costing you up to 40% of your gains.
Bro, this is like total fear-mongering. Total fear-mongering. Holy buckets. It's paralysis by analysis. Way to scare people into working out. You know what I mean? So instantly, I'm not going to say he's wrong. I'm sure there's some great research to prove it. And this might be an awesome video for all I know. I might agree with everything he says for all I know. I'm just giving my freaking tit-for-tat thoughts from what we see. And instantly, the first thing that comes to my mind is like, this is the general population that's going to see this. They're going to say, holy buckets, I better subscribe to this channel and buy his program because I don't want to freaking miss out on 40% more gains. What does 40% more gains even mean? I could be freaking Johnny Olympia if I get 40% more gains. What does 40% more gains even mean? What does that even mean? Science to master your physique. Master the physique with the empty barbell row, which I thought we all came to the conclusion now in the science community that the bent over barbell row is a horse crap exercise. And in fact, you need to take all of your supporting musculature out of the equation and even support the neck because the neck might hamper your gains. And let's put the wrist wraps on because God forbid, we want to feel the friggin' activation of the lats. We don't want to feel our forearms at all. We want Johnny PencilNeck forearms so we can isolate those lats.
Muscle growth is primarily caused by mechanical tension. So in order to sense which exercises are best, it's necessary that we sense the amount of mechanical tension in our muscles when we exercise. Is this possible? Yes, it is. We have these things in our muscles called Golgi tendon organs. Golgi tendon organs can accurately sense the amount of mechanical tension that is being produced by a muscle. However,
Thank you for being here, my friend.
the information
Thanks
from
for
the Golgi
tuning in,
tendon
fellas.
is not sent to the conscious part of our brain. Most of this information enters the subconscious areas of the brain. So even though the information is there and it's being registered, it's not sent to the part of the brain that we can access. We cannot access.
Someone asked and said, Ricky, does the hat fit a most jacked, humongous, rotundous skull? And he bet you freaking buns. I have this sucker. This is pretty freaking tight, guys. Look, there's only one free hole, so I can spread that sucker like out here. I mean, this thing will fit the kraken of skulls. Do you know what I'm saying? So if you have a huge head, it'll fit you. If you have a small Johnny PencilNeck skull, it'll also fit you. Just throwing that out there. The thickest frick headwear now available at thickestfrick.com.
The information, and this is particularly true for reafferent signals, which is sensory feedback that is stimulated by our own motor action.
You know, listen, guys, it's great to know this, whatever. I mean, actually, I take that back. It's absolutely useless for your average Johnny gym goer to know this information. I talked about this before. The Golgi tendon, whatever, horse crap. This stuff was on the CS. If you're going into personal training or strength and conditioning coaching, you have to get your certified strength and conditioning specialist certificate, and this stuff is on the test. But I'll tell you right now, you know, all my years of being in this, you know, I've been removed for a long time now. But back when I was a personal trainer and a strength coach and stuff, this has no freaking, for this video, it's gonna be beneficial, for sure. But I'm just saying, for the average Johnny gym goer, and I'm not saying that Menno here, he's a freaking world-renowned research scientist, so he has to explain this. I'm just telling you guys watching these videos, because the most people watching these are not gonna be your freaking, you know, PhD students. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be Johnny PencilNeck. I'm going to say, oh boy, I want to make 40% more gains. Let's see what Menno Henselman has to say. They don't need to know about the freaking Golgi tendons.
This is also why we cannot tickle ourselves. If you try to tickle yourself, you are trying to trick the brain, because the brain already knows that.
This is cool information to know, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, this ain't going to help. So far, we're not making 40% more gains by knowing this. And I'm not shitting on his video. I like it. It's interesting, okay? I'm just saying, this is tit for tat, second by second analysis by Rick De La Stick.
It's right to stack gold into this list of shared caffeine loads. Who else cares? It's right to stack.
Doing it yourself, you're giving the motor command to stimulate yourself, and you don't process that information in the same way as someone else does. You don't have the surprise factor, essentially, because the brain already knows that you are giving the motor command, and what the result of that is. It's not necessary for the brain to process the sensory feedback in the same way. This also explains things like force escalation.
What the frick is that?